In Elina, we have an invoicing rule hierarchy system. At the top of the invoicing rule hierarchy system, you can always override on a reservation basis, and then it's on a rate basis, then a company basis, then a guest basis, then a property basis. So we'll always choose the rule which is at the top of the hierarchy, and that allows for automation. You can of course override something always on a reservation basis if you have permission, and if you have permission within your profile, you can also change invoicing or charging rules. Here we can see all the rules that are active in the system. They typically are controlled on, as we said, reservation, a company, or a dynamic rate level. If, for example, we go and look at a company, let's look for all companies in here. We could go and take a demo company. This is not a real company because this is a demo system. And what we can do is we can click on this company, which is called MTL Medical, not a real company. And we can go to invoice rules, and we can see here that the rule that's applied is interval 100% being invoiced every 1 month or within the full month period, and the invoice date is due 30 days after the invoice creation. So that means that the first month will always be pro rata and the last month will be pro rata as well. And we can of course edit that from here as well. So let's just look at what's possible to change on an invoicing rule basis. Every system also has a default rule, so if nothing else is selected, it will choose that. The flexibility here allows us to do either deposits to be collected. So we could say we want to collect a fixed amount deposit, for example 150. And when we want that to be collected, we could say that we want it to be on creation date. We can just leave it as is. And for invoicing, we have the option to take a percentage or a fixed amount. Typically, people will take a percentage. So you could say we want to take 50% now. And say, so now would be creation date. So due on creation date. Here like this, 50% on creation date. We'll make it all due at the same, all created and due at the same time, and that would leave 50% to be collected. So it's automatically selected the other 50%, and then we could say we want to link that to something like arrival date. But you can see here we have option to link to creation date, arrival date, or departure date. So we choose arrival date, and we could say we actually want to collect the remaining amount 7 days before the arrival date. So the invoice is going to be created then and also due them, which is more common to hospitality. We could create that rule. Alternatively, we could remove these. Let's remove the deposit for now. And if we were using interval rules, we could do a different example. We could say, okay, we want this to be always every month. So a new invoice will be created every month, the period of the booking. And then how do we want that to be determined? So every 1 month, and we want the invoice date to actually be due, for example, 7 days before. Or we could toggle it and change it and say actually we want it to be due 14 days after the creation period. So if your invoice is from the 1st of August to the 31st of August, then we will make sure that it's due on the 14th of August. If we toggled that back there, then we'd say it's actually due 14 days before the 1st of August. And that's how we can control that. From here, you can also choose part full part, where it's pro rata first month and last month, or you can choose to set the invoice to be created on the day of arrival, or on a set day of each month. If you want it to always be on the 15th, for example, of the month, you could set that. And you can also do weekly as well. So we could say we want an invoice to be created every 1 week. And in this case, we'll say it's due on that exact date. And we'd make sure this was 100% at the top because it's 100% of the period each time. You can also obviously deal with VAT levels as well as changes in VAT. So if your VAT is flat rate for the whole booking, you would set it at whatever level you want. These are controllable on the system level. Or what you can do, if you say for example have a VAT drop, you can stipulate when that drop is. So you could say from day 29, which is common to the UK, the VAT level then drops from there. We can also handle VAT being obviously a fixed amount, for a length of booking, and then changing to being 0%, or toggling based on length of stay, which can be controlled through dynamic rules.